The Steelers' loss to the Colts may seem like a simple defeat, but the consequences are much greater. A big controversy is being generated between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, who is returning from injury. In addition, injuries on the offensive line continue to haunt the team, with another player out for the season due to an injury. Stay tuned. You can't miss any details of this chaotic situation, and leave a like to strengthen. The Pittsburgh Steelers suffered their first loss of the season, and although it was only a narrow 3-point defeat, it felt much more significant. A combination of poor coaching decisions, a shaky offensive line, turnovers, and a defense that struggled left the Steelers heading back from Indianapolis with a 3-1 record, and a lot of areas in need of improvement. During the game, Justin Fields had a costly fumble that looked pretty bad, quickly reminding everyone of the challenges he still faces as a young quarterback. However, he nearly redeemed himself with a standout performance, making Steelers history by becoming the first quarterback to throw for 300 yards, rush for 50 yards, and score 3 touchdowns in the same game. Despite this, the Steelers are now at a crossroads. Head coach Mike Tomlin has managed to dodge the quarterback question for 4 weeks, consistently pointing to the return of Russell Wilson as the moment the team will decide on their long-term starter. According to NFL Network's Ian Rappaport, Wilson is nearing full health, which happens to coincide with Fields' first loss of the season. So will the Steelers make a change at quarterback before facing the Dallas Cowboys in Week 5? The odds lean towards yes. Tomlin seems determined to make Wilson the starting quarterback, no matter the situation. Perhaps he believes it will be easier to switch back to Fields later in the season with less drama, or maybe he genuinely sees Wilson as the key to leading the Steelers this year. But they shouldn't make the switch. Fields has shown growth with each game, and despite a rocky start in Week 4, he was undeniably the best player in the Steelers organization during that matchup, Tomlin included. In fact, if you're assigning blame for the loss, Tomlin might be higher on the list than Fields. However, this is a team that operates on trends. Often you can predict their moves before they happen. It wouldn't be surprising if Tomlin enters his press conference this week and informs the media that Wilson is still recovering, leaving the starting role in limbo. More likely, though, Tomlin will say Wilson is almost ready to return, and the team will split practice time between both quarterbacks before making a final decision. Then, much like the Trubisky versus Rudolph battles of the past, Wilson will likely take the majority of first-team reps, with Fields relegated to a few token snaps as a backup. We'll see how things unfold, but the writing is on the wall. The Steelers have known this moment was coming, and while it might feel premature, there's a strong sense that this could be the week Tomlin makes the quarterback change. Now, speaking of Tomlin, what do you think? Should he continue betting on Fields? Leave your opinion in the comments, because the next news will shake up the Steelers' future even more. The Pittsburgh Steelers have taken another hit to their offensive line, as starting right guard James Daniels will miss the remainder of the 2024 season due to a torn Achilles suffered during the team's narrow 27-24 loss to the Indianapolis Colts. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reported the injury, which occurred in the first half, forcing Daniels to exit the game and not return. Daniels was replaced by Spencer Anderson, a 2023 7th-round pick, for the rest of the game. This left the Steelers finishing the matchup with backups at both guard positions, highlighting the depth issues the team has faced this season. Anderson, who had been starting at left guard in the first 3 games, was filling in for Isaac Sumalo, who has been sidelined all season after suffering a pectoral injury in preseason practice. Rookie Mason McCormick, drafted in the 4th round, rotated with Anderson during Week 3's victory over the Los Angeles Chargers. McCormick started at left guard against the Colts, with Anderson expected to rotate in, but Daniels' injury forced the Steelers to rely on both backups at the same time. By the end of the game, Pittsburgh had 3 players starting in the center of the offensive line who had no prior starting experience before the 2024 season began. Injuries have become a defining challenge for the Steelers' offensive line, as they've now lost 3 players to season-ending injuries. Nick Herbig, their top interior backup and a contender for the starting center role, was ruled out for the season due to a rotator cuff injury suffered in preseason. Additionally, first-round draft pick Troy Fautanu is out for the season after sustaining a knee injury during practice ahead of Week 3, and backup tackle Dylan Cook is on injured reserve with a Lisfranc injury to his foot. Although Cook is eligible to return from IR this week, he is expected to need more time before rejoining the lineup. Heading into Week 5, the Steelers are down 5 of their top 10 offensive linemen, including 3 starters and 2 crucial backups. There is some hope that Sumalo, who practiced in a limited capacity last week, could make his return in time for the team's upcoming home game against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday night. As for Daniels, this injury could mark the end of his time with the Steelers. The 27-year-old is in the final year of his 3-year contract, and earlier in the offseason, he mentioned to Steelers now that the team had informed him he wouldn't be receiving an extension. Looking ahead, Sumalo is still under contract for 2 more seasons, and the Steelers may consider Anderson or McCormick as long-term options at right guard. The truth is that the Steelers' offense is in chaos, and this offensive line full of absences is a huge threat to the team. Daniels out, Sumalo back, and who else is going to handle this? We can only hope that the team doesn't fall apart completely in the next few weeks. To learn more about what's coming up, click on the next video that will appear on your screen.